Welcome to another surf report, everybody. And this week, all the energies, all the alignments seem to be swirling together into one main theme, which, as you can see in the title, rally cries and chest beating. They're going to have a lot of people trying to rise to the occasion, trying to argue that they're the ones that we need to follow. The leadership is towards the end of the week. It's the main theme in the next energy window, which does transition this week. But look at all these alignments here. And I put them in what I thought would be the energetic priority. So in priority of which alignments are the most powerful. So obviously the full moon in Capricorn conjunct Pluto. That's number one. Number two, Sun goes into Leo. That marks the start of the Leadership Academy energy window. And then number three, Mars goes into Gemini. But I mean, we got sextiles and squares. And when we start to delineate all these, it really does come down to a lot of loud talking, a lot of convincing rally cries, a lot of follow me, I've got something to say. And for us, I don't know, like sensitive people, or for us Aquarians in particular, air signs, might be a lot of eye rolls because we don't like people telling us what to do. So that'll be interesting. But I think the result, based on all this saturation of, listen to me, is this: everyone's just wanting stillness. Everyone wants resolution. Everyone wants peace, stillness, and that's what we're seeking. But in doing so, you're going to see a lot more at the beginning of the week, more of the rebel kind of thing, and at the end of the week, more leadership. But all the while, it's hear me, hear me, hear me. And the Dreambot says time for community. That entirely speaks to Saturn in Pisces, because Pisces is the community and time is represented by Saturn. So it's Saturn and just happens to be in Pisces. And why is that important? Because he is the ruler of our Capricorn full moon. So with that being said, that's our introduction. We got a lot to talk about, and it starts now. And speaking of Saturn, a big shout out goes to Saturn DJ for the Best Comment Award. Really love that you're doing the plant of the week. Well, thanks for your comment. And I think other people are loving that plant too. And we will give credit to where credit is due, because I'm not doing the plant. I'm just presenting the plant. So we do have some help. All right. Here's the Dreambot. And it's pretty basic. The reds. Now the time, that's interesting. Time is waning out. You're not seeing nearly as many arrows as before, but it's still there. Still, July's still up there. It's got to complete its reevaluation of its baseline. So that'll be a while. July will be up there for a little bit longer. But we have 2023 back up in the list and 2024 together. That's strange, but it's there. And community is in the blue, very strong, and a lot of arrows supporting this idea of community. And that just rolls right into people vying for community, but trying to lead the community. That's kind of the energy of this week. And today, this is a linguistics number one. Today, people should comments. Sounds like you guys. You should comment. That's the Dreambot's telling you to. Members, community promoted. Almost thinking about doing like a membership community thing here on the National Dream Center YouTube page. What do you guys think about that? Is that a good idea or not? Let me know in the comments. All right, astrology. We are pretty much in the middle of our eclipse cycle, Aries. And here before long, we will be into the eclipse season again into September and October. But this week is this little sliver here, and it includes a Capricorn full moon. It's the second of 2 Capricorn full moons. So if you didn't really capture, if you Capricorns didn't really go after that first full moon, you've got a second try this week. As far as our energy windows, we go from the Rebel's Paradise into the Leadership Academy. But I'll tell you, with all those background alignments, it's going to be real seamless. Yeah, I'm looking forward to showing you all the alignments. Here's the representation inside these 2 vertical lines here. You've got the things to point out are Mars going into Gemini. We'll delineate that later. We have Sun going into Leo, but not until after the full moon in Capricorn. And then a whole host of other alignments. Here's your energy graph for the week. And you can see, just like last week, it's just straight across. And it's very much yang. But more specifically, it's kind of a leadership, verbalizing, rally cry kind of a yang. So it's a very verbal and cognitive type of yang. But it's just straight across. And the reason why I changed the colors is because the energy window changes, but the background energy doesn't really change, as you're going to see. All right, Thursday, 18th. Let's start delineating some of these. Let's start with Sun sextile Mars and Uranus. Mars and Uranus still in about a 2-degree orb, so it's still very powerful. This is our massive rebel alignment, but it's a nice sextile over to the Sun because this is the resilient visionary. And this archetype combines the emotional strength of Cancer, the innovative thinking of Uranus, and practical determination of Mars in Taurus. It represents a unique ability to nurture and care for others while simultaneously pursuing groundbreaking ideas and goals. This sextile suggests a harmonious flow between these energies, allowing for a balanced and effective, really, approach to life. And it's my opinion, I'll say it now, because when we talk about these other alignments, they're sort of going to get really harsh and loud. I think without this sextile here this week, this is going to run all week, that without this, I think we have just an all-out, really chaotic, fighting to be heard thing, rally cries on top of rally cries, and see who can get the loudest. But I think with this sextile, it sort of at least gives it an edge of harmony, or a chance of hope. And so I think without this, we just see all-out chaos. So, now that being said, Mercury is in Leo, late stage Leo, square over to our rebels. And it's a square, so it's the rebellious communicator, creates a high voltage dynamic energy in the realm of communication and thinking. This archetype represents a bold, dramatic style of self-expression that may challenge conventional norms and disrupt stability. This is very rebellious, and it flows through mind and in out the words verbally. The square suggests tension and friction between the need for creative individuality and the desire for practical and groundedness. Overall, when you put all this together, you get the transformative catalyst is a powerful force for change driven by a unique blend of compassion, creativity, and a willingness to challenge the status quo. So you put all that together. Now, when people are conceiving that, what's the natural manifestation is they need to verbalize, or they need to communicate it outward to try and convince others to get the support. So there's our start of our rally cry. Want to take this chance Friday the 19th, because there's a lot going on in the next few days, but it's a chance to kind of check in with the moon. It's a waxing gibbous moon, so it too is yang. It's increasing its illumination, which implies expansive, yang type of feeling. It is in Capricorn, so it's a lot more goal oriented. And so I thought I'd point that out. That's supportive of the overall energy layout. Saturday the 20th, let's talk about, this is when Mars goes into Gemini, and that's at 3:43 p.m. 3:43 p.m. Central Daylight Savings Time. And this is the powerhouse communicator. Here's the energy that carries precise words, very extreme confidence, undeniable charisma, and it levies great communicative power. This is a time of heightened mental activity, rapid transmission of information, and potentially volatile or inflammatory communication. So it can elevate the discussion into an argument. Then we have the square over to Gemini ruler Mercury, and that square makes it the lion's roar, attention grabbing communication style that simultaneously inspires and provokes. It is a time of bold self-expression, dramatic proclamations, and potentially aggressive intellectual sparring. The lion's roar is a rallying cry, a provocative challenge, and an impressive display of mental prowess all at once. However, it can also indicate a period of inflated egos, argumentativeness, and tendency to talk over others. Overall, we have the firebrand orator. This lion is the master communicator who wields words as both weapons and tools, captivating audiences with their charisma and quick wit, and also prone to inflammatory rhetoric and ego-driven debates. Does this sound a lot like what we've been seeing? Well, yes, it's going to get worse. Or better, depending on how you perceive this energy. You have some of you personalities may really like this energy. And then we get on Sunday the 21st is going to be the full moon in Capricorn. And you can see here that it is on the descendant at 29 degrees, 9 minutes of Capricorn. And it is very tightly correlated or conjunct with Pluto, who is in the other sign, Aquarius, in retrograde. And then we also have so like Pluto trine Mars, we have Uranus trine the moon. So we have all that to consider. This whole trine alignment is the pragmatic visionary, represents a powerful force of transformative change. That's mainly it's the unpredictability of the moon trine to Uranus. So massive unpredictability, lots of change combined with the emotional intensity and depth of Pluto. And we have dynamic communication and action of the Mars trine, because Mars is in Gemini. And the unconventional solutions of the full moon trine Uranus that I mentioned before. This archetype possesses the vision, communication styles, and practical know-how to effectively navigate the challenges of bringing about progressive change and challenges sustainable change in both personal and collective realms. There is no way, based on this energy, that the status quo can maintain its norms through this second Capricorn full moon. Absolutely no way. With this energy, you may feel the ability to communicate transformative ideas and rally support. There it is again. Willingness to, and we didn't even include the Mercury in all this. The willingness to embrace unconventional solutions, potential for practical grounded leadership in pursuing revolutionary change. So you can see this same rallying cry, chest beating thing is even indicated without using the sun and the Mercury. We're just talking about the full moon. By the way, you're going to see a segue towards the Leadership Academy here with Mars trine Pluto. And Mars trine Pluto is going to go exact. We've already delineated it, but it's going to go exact, and it's going to open up the power continuum at 10:47 p.m. on Sunday the 21st. So a lot happening, a lot going exact on the same day, Sunday the 21st. And then the big news on Monday the 22nd at 2:44 a.m. is that the sun will enter into Leo. And this is the sovereign, the noble ruler who radiates charisma, courage, and confidence, self-expression. This is the part of us that yearns to shine, to be seen and celebrated for our unique brilliance and full potential. And we return to the sextile that we mentioned earlier, but Mars now is in Gemini. So that actually goes exact on the same day that the sun goes into Leo. So this is important to delineate into the king of charisma. This sextile provides a radiant and adaptable ruler who commands the kingdom of ideas and brilliance, bravery and logic, all of that in the domain of mind and leadership, crowned into the golden light of creative self-expression and armed with the swift sword of intellectual acuity. The king of charisma leads with knowledge, social competence, and inspired boldness. Here's the king of charisma is pulling from the Leadership Academy energy window. But this king of charisma has the ability to articulate ideas and captivate audiences with a powerful form of leadership and teaching skills. So this is the sovereign king of charisma starting on the 22nd. But that still doesn't take away from the rally cries and the chest beating. That all those alignments that we covered at the first part of our week are still applying today. So you have that as the backdrop. And now we have the sun opposed Pluto. It's the cosmic standoff. Creates a, sun opposed Pluto. So you got the sun in Leo and Pluto in Aquarius. It's the cosmic standoff. Creates a tense aspect of confrontation, but it symbolizes a profound clash between the individual will and the collective forces of change. Highlights a need to navigate power struggles. There it is again. Power struggles, particularly with the leaders who are trying to sway, trying to bring change to the collective and vying for control. And we have to find a balance between personal desires and the greater good. We also have the sovereign revolutionary is another way that you can look at this opposition. A leader who cannot ignore the call to overturn oppressive systems, even at the risk of their own comfortable status. They are challenged to use their charisma, creativity, and influence to champion the cause of the collective. So there it is. I mean, that's the rally cry. Again, it never ends this entire week. And some would say this is like the good versus evil thing, and we see that threaded all throughout our headlines currently. On Wednesday, the 24th, we return to the sun sextile Mars, especially now that Sun is in Leo, and this takes this picture that was appropriate before, but really escalates it to an nth degree. It's the golden-tongued champion, a vibrant, captivating figure who wields words as both sword and shield, dazzling others with their radiant self-assurance. All right, you ready for the I-Ching? It's 52, change line 4. I didn't like this explanation where I normally get it because it's all focused on behaviors, and we want to look at what it feels like. What's the influence? So I went elsewhere. Basically, 52, hexagram 52 is mountain over mountain. And double mountain suggests a profound stillness and a solid foundation. So what is that influence? It's what we want. people are going to want this. And that's how leaders are going to use their charm, is to promise this. They're going to promise peace, promise stillness. Line 4, hexagram 15 says, keeping his trunk still, no blame. So even the leaders, the ones who are doing the rally cries, are going to try to keep poised. And so there's the influence too. This line suggests focusing on the core or central part of oneself. It advises maintaining inner stillness and not being swayed by external events. By keeping the trunk still, one avoids mistakes and maintains integrity. All right, let's button this up with the influence chart. Here's our summary chart. We have like the little kid who's in the concert hall, and things are just so loud. And the music in this case, in this metaphor, represents the loud people who are trying to do the rally cries, trying to sway the collective towards their ends and trying to argue that they have the truth and they know where we need to go. And you're going to hear it from all these different angles. This week, we have some big archetypical influences, ideals, ideas, values, and beliefs come barreling out of people's confident heads. Everyone is turning up their own microphone and stepping all over everyone else's. Egos seek not only to be heard, but to sway, to convince, and even dominate. It's a saturating and loud environment, much like trying to converse at a heavy metal concert. Add in a massive unpredictability of a full moon energy, and we have a collective unconscious and, ironically, screaming desire for stillness. That's the irony of this whole thing. We're screaming for stillness. Can everyone just shut up already? That would be me. I don't know about you guys. That's kind of what I expect. If I'm visualizing or rehearsing what this energy might feel like, I already know that I'm probably going to just be rolling my eyes and second guessing anyone who tries to convince me that they're right. But, you might all have a different phrase, and that's okay. Put the change line in, and now we're going to start working towards the solution. We have the wanderer. So be sincere, be flexible, undemanding rather than stubborn. Get rid of attitudes and habits that it could encumber you or make you too conspicuous. Here's some quick bullets of things to consider. Be flexible, be open-minded, be the wanderer. The wanderer goes to other lands, other cultures, and is open-minded. Be observant, respect local customs, show humility, self-reliance. It's basically be open to all these ideas. You don't have to shut down, even though you got everyone screaming in your ear trying to convince you. You can just be open, be accepting. Hey, this is their idea. Hey, this is their opinion. Whatever. I don't have to defend against it. I don't have to argue if I don't want to. You can if you want. But I think you might enter into these variety of outlets of pissing contests and power struggles if you do. So that's just not my gig. All right. Full moon in Capricorn. It's at hexagram 60 of the rave, and we get Sagittarius. Sidereal Sagittarius, the wanderer. So we have two modes of solution that are already the same. Let's check into hexagram 60 of the rave. We get conservatism, line 3. This is the full moon, by the way, at the time of the full moon. Enlightened self-interest that naturally handles restrictions and limitations, ensuring identity and security. The energy to maintain identity and security despite limitations. I think that sounds pretty helpful. And on the downside, if you use this incorrectly, energy which ignores limitations and pays the price. Right? So if you're limited in money, it doesn't mean go splurge and rack up a bunch of debt. That would be kind of an example of not utilizing this energy correctly. All right, let's go to our solution. Remember, we have the Wanderer and we have Sagittarius. These two are correlated almost directly. We have security despite limitations. It's like basically do what you can with what you have, right? And maintain your identity and security. And we have the full moon, which brings about lots of unpredictability. And so here we go. There doesn't seem to be much doubt about the suggestions for this week, as the solution triangulation is rife with themes of adaptability, caution, resilience, self-reliance, preparedness, and grit. When the moon enters into full illumination, unpredictability increases, and so it's best to be prepared for strange behaviors while also remaining open and accepting of other people's perceptions, values, wants, beliefs, cultures, etc. Let me pause here. I'm noticing I'm having to give in my therapy practice this advice that says stop being afraid of other people's wants. You can validate their wants, their erroneous perceptions, their beliefs, their cultures. It doesn't mean you have to surrender to it, but you don't have to defend against it. You just let them, unless of course you're in harm's way, you're maybe at risk for getting physically hurt. Well, then that's a boundary. But in terms of their perceptions, values, wants, beliefs, cultures, etc., their thoughts, how about just accept them? Like, then you don't have to get into a pissing contest. Even if they want to, you don't have to by doing this, but just accepting that they have a right to their perception. Move around. Okay, so in addition to our solution matrix, move around, move towards what calls your higher self. This is coming from our Sagittarius. And be guided by your highest aspirations. This leveling up should be sought after despite the fear of limitations. So, do what you love, seek value, it's not just monetary value, but seek moving around in accordance with your highest values. And watch out for limiting yourself based on fear. Don't live in fear. I mean, honor fear, but don't live in it. Don't decide your behaviors based on it, but honor it so you don't get into harm's way unnecessarily. But in particular, the Sidereal Sagittarius, doesn't move about because of fear. It moves, it's best if Sagittarius moves towards what they want instead of avoiding what they don't want. So the rave suggests to find security and maintain identity even in a depleted environment. It is better to be on your highest path and face limitations rather than to remain in comfort. Comfort could be one of the biggest reasons for mental health deterioration. Arguably, there's a lot of reasons for comfort, but the human instinct is to get more of it. And the irony of it is the more comfort you get, the more deterioration that you have. Some say it's the slow path to death. In my father's case, it was the relatively fast. You just a couple of years getting way too comfortable and just quickly diminishing into death. That's not to be morbid. It's an example of how comfort killed somebody. Don't get too comfortable. All right, here's our plant of the week. It's the herbs of Mercury, lavender. Ooh, love some lavender. Has been used for centuries to calm and soothe the mind, body, and spirit, as well as to connect to source, stemming from the Latin root lavare, meaning to wash. The Egyptians used lavender to embalm. The Roman used it for bathing, and the Greeks used it for beauty. Lavender is highly purifying And when used topically or with aromatherapy, it can help with these things. How about you? Snapshot this or screenshot it, and you can read it later. But remember, we're not proposing any cure to anything. Make sure you check with your doctor. Blah, blah, blah. It's an herb of Mercury and known for the herb of communication. Lavender is directly connected energetically to the throat chakra. Use lavender aromatherapy during meditation to balance, soothe, and quiet overactive or unclear expressions. This, my friends, lavender is your secret to creating a balanced, still environment while everyone is yelling, screaming their rally cries and trying to get you to follow them. I too love the color of lavender's flowers. Opens a mainline connection to the source through the crown chakra. So a lot of chakra work, and ultimately send your message directly to the galactic center using the high frequencies of the crown chakra activations found in lavender. This was created for humanity with love by Sean Elizabeth Nelson. So let's thank her for the plant of the week. All right, everybody. I've given you the influence. I've given you the solution. So now let's go make this week a fantastic one for us individually. Make sure your behaviors are in accordance with your values and you're living your best life. And let's kind of sit back and observe these rally cries as they start coming out of the woodwork. All right, everybody, have a great week. Thanks for being here, and thanks for your shares and support. See ya.